Okay, welcome back to No Man's Sky, and our last video we had collected all the blueprints from manufacturing facilities, and we did that so that we could do some high-end crafting. Thing is we need a lot of flowers to start that high-end crafting, so today we are going to build a farm base. I have a very specific design that I use at all of my bases, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to build it. So, I found myself a really nice planet. It's got no real storms, it's a tropical-ish planet. The sentinels are alright, you know, nothing too bad here. So, what I've done to begin with, just to give myself a bit of a head start, is I've built my containers here, just a landing pad, and I was messing around with the hotspots as well. So we've already got some of the hotspots coming back to base. So we're already collecting silver, copper and nitrogen. I've got 2 silos ready for the other things if I ever find them. But what I've done is I've found a nice bit of flat land, somewhere in the distance there. I think is the power. No, it's not that one. It's that one. So I've got this place all powered up ready. I would recommend doing that, like find your power hotspot. Don't worry about the other hotspots, but find your power hotspot first before you start building. Right, let's just upload what we've got at the moment. Right, so if we are going to figure out a starting position, let's see. Let's say here. I'm just going to place one basic wooden piece of flooring to start us off. Alright, and then everything else that we're going to need is going to be in our large structures. Okay. Now, what we'll need for this is a lot of pure ferrite, and then for the second part of all this, a lot of glass. Alright, those are pretty much the 2 things that we need. So, for the pure ferrite, go find a planet that you don't care about at all, and go mad with your terrain manipulator. Collect as much ferrite dust as you can fit into all your inventories. Refine it all into pure ferrite. I'm talking nonsense. I'm talking about the glass bit. Sorry. Yeah. You want the ferrite dust for the glass. Refine it into glass. Sorry, I don't know what I was talking about the pure ferrite. As for the pure ferrite thing, you need to mine a bunch of rocks basically. The big ones will give you pure ferrite, the little ones will give you ferrite dust, which you can then refine into pure ferrite. So let's get on with it, shall we? So what we are going to do first is we are going to build a single cross-shaped room just coming off of our floor piece. Okay, and now the floor piece is no longer relevant. In fact, you could have done without it anyway. It's this cross shape that's the important thing. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a hollow door, or a normal door if you want, on the front. Okay, this is our entrance to the base. Then now we are going to go into our straight corridors, or if you've got your glass ready, you can go straight into doing a glass corridor. In fact, I've already messed this up. Forget the corridor for a second, we are going straight into square room, sorry. And I've just placed that in entirely the wrong place. Let's just do it from the outside, it's easier. Okay, square room. Then corridor. Okay, then back to square room. And then corridor. Square room. And then we're going to go to our cross corridor. Okay, so we've got 3 square rooms in a row, connected by the straight corridors. Okay. Now on the sides of each of these we're going to do another straight corridor. Right, one there, one there, one there. I'm just going to build menu to do this. One there, one there, one there. Back to our square rooms again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Straight corridors to connect them. Okay, so if I now go into our camera mode, just show you what we've got so far. Okay, so far we have our 9 square rooms, which we will build whatever the hell we want in, and we want to do crosses off those other 2 middle ones as well. So on there. I've noticed I've just placed the wrong corridors in here. I wanted the glass ones. So again, if you've got plenty of glass waiting in your inventory, just go straight into the glass ones. If you don't, you can always replace them with glass ones later, it doesn't matter. Because the normal ones just cost pure ferrite, the glass ones cost pure ferrite plus some glass, obviously. Okay, so now we need to create a set of corridors around the edges. Okay, now to make things a little less complicated, to begin with, I'm going to do them all as cross shapes. Okay, but we are going to replace some later when we figured out which ones we're replacing. Okay, so I'm literally just going around in a circle, placing them all down. Pure ferrite, of course I am. Right, which is why I built an Exocraft summoning station, because I do believe I may have filled some of these with pure ferrite already. Let's have a look. Yep, loads of it. So this first stage will require a lot of pure ferrite, but it will be worth it, trust me. Okay, so we now have the outskirts of our base. Okay, I think I might be a bit too close with these silos, so I might actually have to delete those 2 silos on the end that I'm not using, because I think they're going to get in the way. But I guess we're about to find out. Right, so this is our basics. Now the reason we've done this is we are going to build a whole bunch of biodomes around the edges. Okay. Now if we go to each corner, select biodome, I'm going to build a biodome on each section there. Okay. Now if we travel around, you'll see there are certain places that you can and can't build the biodomes. There, it will interfere with that one, so we can't do it there. So that one is our next one. Notice there's basically no gap. Okay, so what we did there was we skipped 2. So let's skip 2 again. Put the next one there. Skip 1, 2. Next one. Skip 1, 2. Go on the corners again. Skip 1, 2, skip 1, 2, 2, and there. It's hard to see with it up there. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I've done something wrong here. What have I done wrong? Skipping 2 and then 1. 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 I hadn't done anything wrong. 1, 2 and then 1. Right, running out of glass. Great. Right, what about my freighter? It's all on my freighter and I can't get it because I've not built the room on my freighter yet. Pants. Okay, I know I've got some in storage. Let's find the appropriate one. Might be able to fit some in. Okay. So back to it. 1, 2, and then 1. 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 1, 2. We've gone in a circle. Okay, so from our entrance, which was supposed to be over here, or possibly over there, let's make this our entrance. So our proper entrance, we want to connect. Yes, 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 thank you. Yes, thank you, go away. Yes, we want pure ferrite again, so let's summon our monitor that's got it all in. So let's stand out of the way. Yep, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then your front door you're going to put on the front here, so hollow door. Okay, and an access ramp. Okay, this is your way in to your base. Alright, and you are going to put your storage containers that I've already built over there. You're going to put the storage containers in these slots here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to leave that bit to last. Now we are going to replace some of these cross corridors with the correct types, okay? So this one we can just make a straight corridor with some glass.
Minor warning.
This one I'm going to keep as it is because I'm going to put something down there in a minute. Okay, this one doesn't need to be a cross, it can be a T-junction going into that biodome. Okay, this one can also be a T-junction, only it's going into the square room. This one can just be a normal corridor. Normal corridor. T-junction going into the room. T-junction going into biodome. I'll make that one a T-junction. So I can put a door on to come out to there. Just a straight corridor. Just a straight corridor. T-junction to come out. T-junction into the room. Just a straight corridor. So this planet does have some storms. T-junction into corridor. T-junction to come out. Just a straight corridor. Just a straight corridor. T-junction to come out. Crisscross. No, that should be a T-junction into the biodome and T-junction into corridor. Just a straight corridor. T-junction into the room. T-junction into the biodome. T-junction out. Straight corridor. Crisscross is fine there. Straight corridor. T-junction out. T-junction into biodome. T-junction into room. Just a straight corridor. Just a straight corridor. T-junction into room. T-junction into biodome. T-junction into the outside. Just a straight corridor. And we have now gone around in a circle. Right, let's just check my build camera and see if we've got this all right. My camera mode, I should say. Okay, so that looks good to me. We've got lots of different ways to come back outside from the inside. So in those little gaps that are between the inner corridors and the outer corridors, these little gaps here, we can build some holodoors on there and build some stuff just outside here to access from inside, just looking out the door. Okay, so we'll have stuff like our base item cache, which we will put there, and our antimatter reactor, which we will put there. Alright, so that's why I've done those. Okay, now you can go around, if you've got loads of extra glass, you can go around all these normal looking T-junctions and cross junctions and put some glass on the tops. Right. Personally, what I want to do first is I want to make my square rooms glass worthy. So I am going to go large glass panel, and I'm going to put them around the edges of each of these. Alright, so you'll get the 4 corners basically of each square room. And I feel that that's a better use of my glass than wasting it on the corridors at this point. Okay. Whoops. I messed something up there. I feel like I messed something up. Nope. Okay, now bear in mind you don't have to make all of this glass straight away. There's just, if you haven't got enough glass for it, just do that as and when you go later. Right, that's not the important part of this build. The important part of this build was the biodomes. I'm going to run through exactly what to plant in them in just a minute. I'll just show you what I meant by adding glass to the corridors. So with that one you need the window, the last glass panel doesn't work. So you can just I think you can put them on the side as well, can you? No. Basically, placing these down just provides you with a little bit more light in your corridors, just natural light. Where is it putting that there? Okay, well, it's building lots without actually doing anything, so. Alright, I'm out of silver. You need silver for that as well. But you get the point. So you create lots and lots of glass as and when you want to. So where's my entrance? Here's my entrance. So I'm going to go inside so that I need to connect it up first, don't I? Right, let's find any part of it to connect. Doesn't really matter where. I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do from there to my battery. And my game is frozen. Okay, so you might have noticed that my game crashed. We will get back to my base in just a minute. I'll have to rebuild it. But let's for a moment just look at this little design here. This is essentially what we are creating. So yeah, basically this is what we're going to put in each of the biodomes, and this will allow us to create exactly the right resources for 4 stasis devices and 4 fusion igniters. Right, and as they sell for 18 million units each, right, that's 144 million units every single time you come to your base. Right, that's a lot. So going round in a clockwise direction from the entrance, we have 2 biodomes that are filled with frost crystals. There's also another 2 on the other side, but we'll get to them in a second. We have 5 biodomes completely filled with gamma root. We have 2 for gut rot, that's the Fecium plant. We've got 1 at the top in the middle there, just for some random bits and pieces, like your Nip, Sac Venom, Gravitina Warband, Albumen Pearl. We don't actually need that one, that's just because, you know, it's nice to have those plants as well. Okay, then we've got 2 full of the fungus, and we've got 1 biodome that is partially cactus and partially Mordite. We've got 1 biodome that's entirely the solar plants. The next biodome has got half solar and half star bramble, and then you've got 2 with star bramble. And then finally the 2 more frost crystals. So all of that, because you can get 16 plants in each biodome, and I'll show you a trick with that in a second, because the corridors in obviously take up 3 of the spaces, but you can delete the corridor or door into your biodome, plant your plants, and then put the corridor or door back in, and it works fine. So you can use all 16 spots basically in each biodome. Yeah, so that's the basic design. We'll go back in game in just a second, as I have rebuilt what I previously built. And if we've learnt nothing else today, then it's that you should always be uploading your base as often as possible and saving your game as often as possible when you are base building. Okay, back to it then. Okay, so we are back in game, and if we take a look at what we have so far. Okay, a little bit of growth because I recreated this using Blender rather than recreating in-game, but that's fine. We can sort those out in a second. So you'll notice the biodomes are coloured based on what plants are in there, which is nice and handy. Everything else is basically how we left it, except that I've not used glass corridors, just used normal corridors at the moment, although I do believe I managed to put glass on the top of most of them. No, I did not. Okay, but here we have our semi-finished ground floor of our base. So that is set up now for our stasis devices and fusion igniters. You may notice we've got a slight power issue where we are using a little bit more than we've got available, even with that power tower right there. Okay, so first thing we are going to do before I give you a good look around is we're going to fix that problem. Okay, now we don't actually need a power tower at all for this to be self-sufficient. Okay, what we do need is to build a little bit more. So if we go back to our square rooms, what we're going to do is we are going to build square rooms on the corners, okay, and in the middle one, and then we're going to build another set right there. Okay, in these ones we can have a single room. Okay, might as well add my glass while I'm at it, because it makes this next thing make a bit more logical sense. Might actually be easier to do as we go, maybe. Again, if you haven't got the glass lying around, don't worry about this, because what we're going to do in just a second works whether you've got the glass on or not. It doesn't really matter if you've got the windows. I just think it looks nicer and it makes logical sense, because what we're going to be doing in just a second is we are going to be using these cuboid rooms, these large square rooms I should say, to place some solar panels inside, because that works. That works even if you haven't got windows. And there's some nice sort of positions in there where batteries and solar panels will snap to really nicely. I'm sure I will end up missing a bunch of these, but whatever. No, it's not the base that's draining all my electricity, by the way. It's the mines that are doing that. The fact is that even on a C-class power hotspot, oh, yes, in the background. Apologies for that. That's previous part of this video going off in the background. Have to edit that out. Bet you anything I forget to edit that out. Probably edit this whole section out because again, a bit boring. Okay, fine. I'm out of glass, that's the point. Which is very annoying because I've got almost none left to make. Let's make a few more, I must be able to. Okay, I think we're good to go. So let's go inside. I knew there was a reason I didn't build on those ones. Okay, let's try again. So we go inside. First we'll do our middle one. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to get the ladder, which seems to be the wrong ladder, that ladder, and we're going to go up. Okay, and in here we are going to go over to our tech and build some solar panels, which I need metal plating for, because of course I do. Okay, and you'll notice that they snap directly into position, which is really handy. Okay, and they're also auto-powering, because they're inside one of these rooms, they're automatically connected to the room. Okay, so let's build another, as we're on the central tower, let's build another ladder. We'll go up another floor. Now you notice on the ground floors that I built batteries, except in this middle tower where I built solar panels, right? So all the rest of them, on the ground floors, I built batteries. Okay. In the very central one, I built solar panels, because we're aiming to make this completely self-sufficient, right? And we need the extra ones in this central tower to make it exactly the right amount for everything that we're building. Okay. Is there enough? Let's do a ladder again. Let's currently goes outside. Alright. So we're going to solar panels all the way around. Okay. And while we're here, we're going to hopefully. Oh no, I need another room first. Let's get back in. This is going to be really annoying. Yes, because I don't have the microprocessors for it, Craig, that's why. 2 carbon nanotubes, so 8 carbon nanotubes. Interesting that I didn't build the door. Gold. Okay, so we go straight out onto one landing pad here. I don't want just one, I want all 4 directions to have landing pads, so let's do that.
Weather warning. Incoming storm.
More metal plating, really? Okay, so outside we now have a nice surface that's got landing pads in it. We're going to head back inside and we're going to go to each corner room now. Okay, I'm going to do a similar thing with building the ladders and putting down solar panels. Do we need a second ladder? Is that? Yeah, that's another room. Okay. So again, if you want to keep these rooms free, you don't have to be doing this solar panel thing. You can just build more at your power hotspot. Might have to go get more ferrite dust. I have a trade terminal. Yeah, I can't remember if I built one. It would be very handy if I did. But it very much looks like I did not. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build myself a trade terminal just so that I can buy a whole bunch more ferrite dust. It would be really handy if they would fit on the back of these things, but what do you actually know? Need 3 microprocessors. So 3 carbon nanotubes. Are you joking?
Constructed. Product constructed.
Alright, let's get rid of those trees that were in the way. There was a tree somewhere, wasn't there? I'm guessing we've got rid of them while we've been building, but that's fine. Ow. Okay, so we need somewhere to put the trade terminal that's going to work. So let's just build a cuboid room with a door, and we'll put the trade terminal in there. Just need to power it. So for just a second, let's remove the connection to the base from the power outside. Okay, right, I need lots of this is a very useful mod. Where are they? I bet you anything I've gone past them a bunch of times. There they are.
Product received. Product received.
Okay, I can always come back and get more if I need them. Okay, so our base is now completely disconnected. Alright, we were in this top corner first, weren't we? Yeah. You will find that once I've done all 4 corners like this, the base will be completely self-sufficient. Alright, so we won't need to connect it to the mains of the power hotspot. I try to have the ladders always facing the front of the base so I can tell which direction the front of the base is. Why aren't you connecting? Seriously connect, there we go. Need more gold, of course I need more gold. Didn't I take it all out already? No. I'm going to use this up pretty quickly though. I might need to go and get more gold from the trade terminal. And chromatic metal. Oh lord, I've gone past it. Where are the resources? Are they right down the bottom or something? Of course they are. What do I even need? Chromatic metal.
Product received.
Right. Don't really need the pure ferrite anymore. I've got plenty of room in my ship, so let's transfer some over. I also need gold. I suppose you'll fit more in, won't you? Almost the same, but whatever. Okay, so we'll buy a decent amount of gold and then some chromatic metal. All the way down. So you might want to maybe find yourself a gold hotspot and gather a decent amount of chromatic metal as well, just for the solar panels.
Product received. Product received. Product received. Product received.
Okay. Right, you'll notice that my base is currently powered because it's daytime. Right, so the solar panels we've got are in fact enough during the daytime, and it's starting to store some power now. And we're not even halfway done. We've barely started building at this point. Alright, so we were here. Okay, now to the bottom. Seems to be having an issue for some reason. Why won't you go on? Oh, it did for a second there. Missing component. Pure. Oh, I got rid of all my pure ferrite. What did I do that for? Honestly, sometimes I amaze myself at my own stupidity. Okay, solar panel. Solar panel. Hoping that I finish this build just as it's getting to night time, so I can show you that even in the night time we are earning enough power to power it. Now I'm fairly certain that actually the outside, the corner towers are all we actually need, and that we don't necessarily need the central base. But I can't really remember if I built that central base because I'd run out of power or not. I suppose I can test that at another time. Come on. What's your issue? Oh, no. Fine, I'll go up here first then. Yeah, so your solar panels you can actually create literally anywhere. They can be underwater, they can be in caves, they can be in buildings. It doesn't matter, they will work regardless of where you put them. More gold? Really? I'm all out. Oh, here we go again, all the way down.
Product received.
So just to make it clear one more time, this thing that we're doing with the solar panels, it's not 100% necessary. I'm mostly showing you this in case you cannot be bothered to go find an electrical hotspot, which I strongly recommend you do. But our base is now completely self-sufficient. So if I look at this battery, right, we are using 1,339 and we are creating 4,400. So actually I'm gone way overboard there, because all we need is double what is being used. So if we say that's 1,500 being used, then we only really needed 3,000 kp and we're making 4,400. So I was right, the central tower, we don't necessarily need them. So we could have done anything with these three bits. Now what I like to do up here with the landing pads is I like to bring my specialists in. So I'll put my construction GEC there. Exocraft goes out front. Place my scientist there. No, that wasn't my scientist, was it? That was my weapons guy. This is my scientist. You can go there. And my farmer can go there. If you just interact with the tables, then your NPCs will appear. So just go up front then. Place our Exocraft guy out here somewhere. That'll do. And we're good to go. So I'm going to upload my base. And I'm going to save my game. Call in my Exocraft. and we have ourselves a fully functioning base. So let's just have a look around our base then. So we've got the storage containers by the entrance. If we go clockwise around the edges, we've got 1, 2 filled with frost crystals. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 filled with gamma weed, gamma root, whatever you want to call it. We've got Fecium plant, our one for the random stuff like the Geknip. We've got our fungal cluster. We've got our cactus. We've got selenium and star bulb, and back to 2 more of the frost crystals. Okay. So, if I clear out my inventories for a second, I can show you what this will do for us. Just want to fill up a few spaces for a second. Right, will do. Whatever, I'll do all them later. Right, so if we now go around collecting these, right, we can use our little computer at the top to harvest all the plants in a particular one. Okay. Might run out of room. I will definitely run out of room. Again, on normal mode, this isn't so much of an issue with the space, because the slots will all go to 9999, whereas here not so much, because we're playing survival. I'm going to need a lot more spaces, basically. Might end up using my exocraft for some space, maybe. Just going to keep an eye on my space. Yeah, I'm almost out, so I'm just going to send the gamma root to my ship. Okay. A little worried I'm not going to have enough space for everything here, but we shall see. Oh, especially because of the fungal mold. The fungal mold fills loads, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Right, we're out of space here. What else can I send? Right, if I switch to one of my exocraft that have got tons of room. So let's switch to this one. I've put a little mod on that gives them 48 slots, particularly because I thought I was going to need all those slots for building this place, but turns out I need them for the plants, not for building. Again, you don't have to be collecting them all at once like I'm doing, but I'm doing it for the sake of convenience of showing you the whole purpose of us making this base in the first place. Notice my tech is still exactly as it was in its original layout. So those two are empty slots normally anyway. Right, okay, let's transfer to the Nomad. you never know, I might be able to transfer it all to the Nomad, who knows. Oh. Okay, so we'll go clockwise, anti-clockwise this time until we find. Oh no, we went anti-clockwise. Yes, so clockwise. No, we are going anti-clockwise. Oh God, I know what I mean. Okay. Hopefully we won't run out of space. What are we doing? Get in there. Okay, so we have harvested everything. Let's go sit in our Nomad, as that's where most of our materials are.
Incoming storm.
Of course there's a storm, there's always a storm, isn't there? Okay, so if I pause for just a second, I'm going to bring up my list of exactly what we need to build. Okay, so we're going to use our flowers then to create these items. So we're going to do 4 glass, 4 lubricant, 4 acid, and 4 unstable gel. And we're going to do 8 polyfiber and 8 heat capacitor. Oh, I just did too many there. Can I make more? No. Right, then we are going to use our polyfiber and heat capacitors to make circuit boards. So we'll make 8 circuit boards. Okay, that was our extra heat capacitor. We're going to use our glass and our lubricant. Oh, I've lost it. Where's it gone? Oh yeah, we need to make a lot more glass. Okay, to make living glass. Okay, I'm going to use our acid and unstable gel to make liquid explosives. Okay. So we've now got circuit boards, living glass, and liquid explosives. Now the next part would be, where have they gone? Next part would be like cryo pump and hot ice and the semiconductors. Okay, which we need the thermic condensate and nitrogen salt and thingamabob for. So you would make them using some gases. I don't know, my gases are there somewhere. What have I done? Passed them somewhere. Right, so sulfurine, radon, and nitrogen. Okay, so we use them to create nitrogen salt. enriched carbon, and thermic condensate. Okay, let's put them at the bottom. You're going to want to create a lot of these, so you're going to want a lot of gas, which is why we are going to get some hot spots on the planet, some gas hot spots, and keep collecting it, keep making these three things. You will get a lot of these things awarded to you during space station missions anyway, but now that we've got them, we can create some of the other stuff. So, hot ice, semiconductor, and cryo pump. I haven't got the cryo pump out of the hot ice. Don't do that quite yet. So, semiconductor to superconductor, hot ice to cryo pump. What am I missing? Organic catalyst twice. To fusion accelerant. Okay, so we used our gas to make those stone things. We used those stone things to make these 6 items. These bottom 3 we made out of these top 3. Okay. So that then leaves us with our stones here: the Herox, Grantine, Magnogold, Oronium, Lemium, and Dirty Bronze. Okay. Now you will combine them to make Iridesite and Geodesite. And we are going to put our fusion. What's missing from? Oh, I need more. I need more of the stones. Let's bring out some Geodesite and some Iridesite ready. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to use our liquid explosive from up here along with some fusion accelerant to create portable reactors. We're going to use our living glass along with the cryo pumps to create or get that cryogenic chamber, and then we're going to use our circuit boards and superconductors to create quantum processors. Okay, and I've only created 2 of each. I want to create 4 of each, so I need to go through the process again, right? So we'll do semiconductors first, times 2. Then use those to create superconductors. Which allows us to create 2 more quantum processors. Remember, we need quite a lot of quantum processors, so let's do some more. Actually, we'll come back to them. So 2 hot ice, which allows us to make 2 cryo pumps, which allows us to make 2 cryogenic chambers. Right, then we want the glass. We want fusion accelerant. So even I sometimes get a bit confused about what I'm doing. Organic catalyst again, with nitrogen salt. Alright, let's bring more of the stones out then. Yeah. What did I do that for? Okay, so fusion accelerant, which requires organic catalyst. Where is my organic catalyst? There it is.
Product extracted.
2 fusion accelerant, 1, 2. Okay. Right, so we've got more quantum processors using those circuit boards, so we need superconductors, which need semiconductors. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Product extracted.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Product extracted.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we now have 8 quantum processors, 4 cryogenic chambers, and 4 portable reactors. Okay, so we can now go for our final products, which are our stasis devices, which use our iridesite, our cryogenic chambers, and 4 of our quantum processors. So we're creating 4 of those, 4 stasis devices. And our other final product, fusion igniter, so we create 4 of them.
Extracted.
Excellent, so our plants, along with some gases that we collected, which I didn't show in the video, I should have really, but along with our gases that we collected and our stones, our geodesite, iridesite, we managed to create 4 stasis devices and pure fusion igniters. Now, as you can see, they sell in this particular system for 15. Oh, their base price has gone down to 15,600,000 rather than the flat 16 million that they were before. But that still means that they will sell for at least 62,400,000 per stack of 4. Well, that's a lot of money, alright, for what was really not that much effort. So I'm going to put these back into storage. And we should only have tiny bits left over. Not sure why we've got so much Fecium left over. I think I already had quite a bit. I think that might be why. Oh, I've got loads left over. Why have I got loads left? Oh, it's because they readjusted it all, didn't they? I might have to have another look at how much of each we actually need, because this is loads of extra. That's good to know. I can probably make my bases a little bit more simple in the future. Okay, let's take a look then. What can we create still? We can still create some glass. So let's say living glass is lubricant as well. Let's see how much lubricant we can make. Oh wow.
Product extracted.
Alright, so glass again. And that's absolutely loads. Alright, so then living glass with that.
Product extracted.
I mean, that is quite ridiculous. Let's create some more glass.
Product extracted.
Am I missing?
Constructed.
Interesting. Okay, so we've got plenty of extra stuff here. So yeah, I'm going to have to take another look at this, do some research, as it seems like we've actually overdone it on how much we have created in our farms. There certainly used to be the right numbers, but I know that they did mess around a little bit a short while back with how much each one creates for you. So yeah, I'm going to have to do some more research and update this video at a later time after all of that. Oh, good to know. But anyway, I hope that that was an informative video. I hope that we all like the base, the general layout of the base. You can obviously add more detail to it as you please. I tend to put some refiners and ingredient thingies up here, and some carbon planters around the other three landing pads. On the inside I tend to put all sorts of stuff. On the ground floors at least, I put like a trade terminal in there, appearance modifier, all sorts of stuff like that. Obviously I've got my base cache there, my antimatter reactor there, and if you remember in our original build we did a similar thing with that piece where we came out, and also that piece, so you can create other stuff out there. Same around here with that one. So yeah, you can adjust as you like. I'll try to create an updated version of this when I've done a bit more research about what we might be able to lose plants wise. If we look at what we ended up with, it looks like we got way too many frost crystals, so we can certainly lose some of them. And what did we use? Lubricant to make that one. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Which was gamma root, so we could probably lose some gamma root as well. So yeah, I'll look into that and I'll get back to you. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Have a nice day. Goodbye.